What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Delta, brought to you by Military Gaming League. In this show, we find the movers and shakers in the military and veteran gaming community and highlight their contribution to enrich the lives of those around them. I'm your host, Mike Karnowski, aka Devil, and we're going to get into some details this evening. Our guests this evening are none other than the Breach Brothers from the 9-Line Stream Team. That's right, you heard me, the Breach Brothers from the 9-Line Stream Team. We have Damage X, Deceived, and Collector. How are you guys doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Great, man.
Awesome. It's a great night.
Let's get into some questions. What made you decide to get into your current field?
So the reason why I joined was I didn't want to regret when I got older. I didn't want to look back in my life and think, maybe I could have done something with myself, take a different path. So joining the Marine Corps was something I always wanted to do. And one day I just did it. Just manned up and I did it. And I don't regret any second of it.
How old were you when you joined?
I joined when I was 22.
So what gave you that sense of purpose, that sense of drive?
Like with the job that I was doing at the time, it was a good job. It was a career. I need to experience something. I need to experience the world. I need to see new things. And I couldn't just be in an office 8 to 5 every day, just wondering what if.
When I joined the military, I was in a pretty dark place. I was 24 years old, and I was in a dark spot. I was working for Louisville Metro as a peace officer at the time, and quit that place after 2.5 years, and I had nowhere to go, man. Like, I was just installing cable for a local cable company in Louisville, Kentucky, and I just wanted to do something with my life again. And I was walking through the mall, and a recruiter grabbed me up, and I was going to basic 2 weeks later.
That's quick. The quick turnaround right there.
Yeah, Fort Knox. Yeah, we had a big overflow at Fort Knox when I went because Fort Jackson flooded. So,
and appreciate your pronunciation of Louisville. Appreciate that.
Louisville. Louisville. Did I say Louisville or Louisville?
Well, now you said them all.
Yeah, I usually say Louisville, so I'm not sure. I don't remember which one I just said. So yeah, it's Louisville.
That's all right. We'll see it on the playback.
Yeah.
Fine. And Breach Brother number 3.
Since I never actually officially joined the military, I was supposed to go in around the same time Joe was, and we were actually going to be battle buddies. But instead, I actually decided to go with the path of going to college, and I studied biology as a major, and now I work in the pharmaceutical field, and I work with drugs that actually have helped or like cure cancer and slow down the spread of cancer. And we work on rare disease drugs. So that was a pretty big path for me to take. And I wanted to do the same thing along the lines of Scott and actually like Scott and Joe and make an impact in the world. But I just did it in a different way.
That's fantastic. You found a different path, but one that still helped achieve the same goal. Is achieving the same goals of helping other folks out.
Absolutely.
That's great. It's fantastic. All right, here's one of our favorites. Defining moments in your career or operational experience. Tell us a story. Give us one of your favorite moments that you have from your past, either an actual operation or just something you did while you were serving, something that you will always remember. Tell us a story.
So maybe to lighten the load a little bit, maybe make a fool of myself, but I did a UDP in Okinawa, Japan. It was my first time overseas. We did a lot of working out. It was basically I shall stand by for like the whole entire time. So what else is there to do but work out and improve yourself physically? So I got into a lot of stuff pre-workout, and we got this new thing. Me and my buddy, we used to work out every day, all the time. And we got it's called NO Explode. So we got that, never tried it. And so the night before we figured, I was like, we'll do like two scoops, 2, 3, just to see what it was like. So we took 2 or 3 scoops, and then we didn't do anything. We just played video games the whole night, and we didn't feel anything. And then we woke up at like 7 a.m. and didn't eat anything, didn't have any breakfast or nothing. We woke up, We took 4 to 5 scoops. And then we went to the gym, and we were there for like a good solid 2 hours. And towards the end of our workout, I started like feeling really lightheaded. My heart was racing. Like it was the worst feeling. So I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just overworked myself. So we went back to our rooms, and I had 2 different roommates at the time who stayed in the room, and I sat on the bed, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I started like fading in and out. Like my vision started just fading in and out. And I told them, I was like, I don't feel good. This isn't good. Something's not right. And so they started seeing me like getting all pale and like ghost white and all clammy looking. So they laid me down on my bed, and they put a bunch of beer bottles and stuff around me to keep me cool, and told my command. So EMS showed up. So I was laying on this bed for about 45 minutes. They kept like replacing beer bottles and beer cans on me to keep me cool. That my corpsman was there, my gunny, my first sergeant was there, the CO was there, the XO was there. My whole chain of command was in my room. EMS showed up. I think with like 45 minutes to an hour of laying on the bed with like everything elevated, I had a heartbeat of like over 155. It was bad. I couldn't move. I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack. Like my heart was going to pop. And then something hit me where I'm like, I have to use the bathroom. I have to use the bathroom. And they're like, well, just go. I was like, I can't move. If I move, I'm going to go everywhere. And so luckily, I had a couple of my buddies literally carry me by my arms to the bathroom. And not only did my room smell like Inno Explode, the whole hallway did. So for the whole rest of that UDP, I was called Inno, like Inno Explode, the whole entire time. I think that right there, I will never forget that. That was the most embarrassing thing that I think I've ever done. And I'll never, until this day, I can't do pre-workout. Like I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack every time I have pre-workout, so I don't even take it anymore.
I don't know if you can see it, but I am laughing so hard internally. I have literal tears streaming down my face right now. And just the image of your roommates surrounding you with cold beer bottles and beer cans, and then your command walking in, and just the sight that must have been if they have not been prepped for, hey, just by the way, there's a bunch of beer cans and beer bottles and surrounding this guy. Just they're all closed, they're not open, it's not like they were drank, but they're keeping them cool. And clearly you've told the story a lot, because you're about near as emotionless as you possibly can, just calling it like it is.
I think I never got in trouble for it. I think the embarrassment enough was good enough for me, I guess.
I don't know that they would know how to write that up. That incident report, I think, right, would be a little bit suspect.
I can only imagine what the duty NCO had to write down in his logbook that day.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's hear from Damage X. You got a story for us, and so don't even try and top that.
But do I keep it like overseas in an Asian country and something stupid, or do I do like a serious story now? Because I feel like I need to tell you a story I've only told my wife.
I mean, you got to remember, this is going up on YouTube for the millions to see.
Oh, this is perfect. I don't give a shit. All right, so okay. I was stationed at Camp Casey with the 2nd ID. I was with 1st Tank. I was a tank mechanic over there. I was a E4 corporal sitting in the E7 slot of the tank maintenance team for Charlie Company. And once I got that DA Select Corporal, we decided we were all going to go out and just celebrate, because I went from PFC straight to DA Select Corporal, which in the military, the Army at that time, was a pretty big deal, because I got rid of DA Select Corporals. If Marines don't know what a DA Select Corporal is, the only person that can demote you is Congress. So usually in the Army, whenever you become a corporal, it's just unit level, and whenever you leave that unit, you go back to being a specialist, E4. So we decided to celebrate, and we went out to Itaewon, the bars, a little south of Camp Casey in Dongdaesan, Korea. And I had a car at the time, so we were driving down there, and we went and partied, and we came back up to the Ville, which is the little party area outside of Camp Casey, where all the bars are at and all the juicy girls, little Filipino girls and stuff. So we go into this one bar, and I can't remember the name of it, but I used to go to the Hurricane Club a lot. That's the one I remember. So we go to this one bar we've never been to before, man. Ordered beers. We were drinking. Curfew was coming up. It was like 2 hours till curfew. So we start slamming shots. And the next thing I know, the bartender just gives me a beer. I didn't pay for a beer. I didn't order a beer. They just handed me a free beer. I was like, well, fuck it. And I just downed it. Well, this time I'm really not that drunk because I've been driving. I only had like 4 shots and maybe 3 beers, which at the time at 24 years old, 25 years old, drinking every night, that's pretty light. And we make it back to my boy's house because he lived off post. And his name was Rico. He's from Puerto Rico because we're idiots. And he was a medic in the Army of 68 Whiskey. So I start feeling really sick. And I go in the bathroom and I was like, man, I got to take a shower. And in Korea, if you've never been there, the off-post housing, the whole bathroom is tile. You have a toilet, a sink, and a shower head coming out of the wall in like one of those wand shower heads, right? And in the center of the shower room floor, there's a drain, and then you got like the washer over in the other corner. Like it's just one big tile room. And I pass out. Well, I wake up about 20 minutes later in the shower. Rico's beating on the door, and he comes in and he has to give me an IV. Like I'm so dehydrated, so fucked up. I don't know what's going on. Like that beer. I ended up being drugged that night. We found out because they took me to the medics on post and they did blood draw, and I got drugged. And so did one other guy, but I'm not going to mention his name because it wouldn't be fair to him because he's still in. Well, what was the end of it, and the reason I went to the medics was after I got up and got that IV, I decided I wanted to finish my shower because I still felt horrible. Well, I guess my stomach was bothering me, and I shit all over his bathroom floor, dude. I shit everywhere, like pure diarrhea, cow patty, right on his bathroom floor. And I didn't tell him when they took me to the medic, and I just closed the door behind me. And when I've never told anybody but my wife this story. And when the next morning, I just get a beat on my barracks room door, and it's Rico. And that shithead, he didn't know it. It crusted and dried overnight on that shower floor. His wife had to clean it up, dude. Best story of my life. That's my whole military career right there in one story. Booze, idiocy, and poo.
I think at some point that may be almost everybody's military career at some point. We all have our vices. For some people it's beer, for some people it's pre-workout,
I don't drink anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Joe, talk to us. Talk to us about transitioning out of the military and why. Why did you decide to transition out of the military?
The reason why I got out of the military was I made a deal with myself that if I picked up sergeant within 4 years, I would stay in. I didn't pick up sergeant 4 years. I had a out with a sergeant during my corporal's course. And after that fight that I had with him, I think at that point I just said, I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with the politics. Not realizing when I get in the real world, there's still politics. But I was just tired. Like my body was hurting. Just couldn't do it anymore. I didn't, as much as I wanted to, I just couldn't do it.
That's not a bad reason to get out. Frankly, it sounds like you made the right decision for your health. So Jordan, you've known Joe almost just incredibly long time before he was in the military. You've known him before the military. You've known him post-military. Knowing him for as long as you have and gaming with him for as long as you have, what are some of the things that you've noticed about changes in demeanor post-military and some of the interactions that you've had and how your relationship has evolved over time?
I've not only gamed with Joe, but we actually worked together. That's where we first met in, I think, 2010, working at Radio Shack. That's when I first met Joe. And honestly, though, his transition in and out of the military wasn't that bad because I mean we've always been bullshitters. We talk shit to each other. It's what we've always done. That's how we communicate. And I think that's the same along a lot of lines of the servicemen. And I think that's why I fit in very well because that's just what I do and I can handle it. I'm not like everyone else. I have tough skin. So it makes it easy to communicate with these guys when they do transition in and out. And I mean, honestly, I don't think Joe changed very much to me personally. I mean, I've seen it right when he transitioned out. I went to North Dakota. He tried getting me in at the pipeline, or not the pipeline, the oil field. I'm sorry. And I mean, we've just been close at the entire time he was in and out. I mean, there was times and periods where we didn't talk, but I think Joe stayed pretty strong through and through, and his personality is still very similar to when he went in.
That right there sounds like the relationship between two very good friends staying in contact. And as you say, I don't think that you would see a whole lot of changes remaining in that sort of close contact, brothers in arms style camaraderie. You were there for him when he went through thick and thin and all of his life experiences, and sounds like he was also there for yours. All right, we've heard his name mentioned several times over the course of the interview. Good old Shelton, aka Admiral Chewie, if I'm saying that right. Does that mean you can actually make the noise? Can you make the Chewbacca noise? Are we gonna get to hear it? You are now in charge of these three bright, energetic, patriotic individuals. Why?
That's a great question. I know when you guys put this on YouTube that there's going to be probably a few bleeps more than you wanted. But these guys, when we were first introduced to the Breach Brothers, it was Scott, like mentioned before. He'd worked with a few of our, or actually one of our clients that has an apparel line through us. And we just started talking about the growth of gaming and veteran gaming in general. And, Nine Line at its core is a give back organizations for veterans, veteran families, active duty soldiers. Like, they both served our country, and at our core that just resonates with us, right? And with both their stories, both being veterans, wanting to give back to other veterans that are out there through gaming, by whether it's just like growing a community and having people watch, or helping out with our charity organizations and bringing other gamers like us who are veterans who are struggling with PTS, down for a good time, and other initiatives that me and Scott just, shot the shit over, that it just made sense for us that we needed to dive into the gaming culture and kind of push our core values, to the new platforms that we're trying to reach. So you don't see it like on Twitch, especially. There's not a veteran gaming tab, which I think everyone would agree that would be fully populated with a ton of gamers if they were to release a genre like that. And I tune into a lot of veteran gamers, just, working for Nine Line. I'm in the culture, but my family all served in the military. My dad was in the Air Force. My grandpa was in the Air Force. So it's just, it's my way of giving back, since I didn't serve, is, try to help the others that did serve our country.
Well, that's fantastic, and something tells me that with the crew of brotherhood that you've hired here to help spread the word and spread the message, their accomplishments are going to do a whole lot of amazing for y'all at Nine Line. They're absolutely fabulous work. So we're excited. We're looking forward to causing some mischief with them here in the future. We're going to play a little Call of Duty with them in the coming weeks for sure, and see how hard I'm going to get carried in some of these games.
Yeah, there definitely won't be a lack of content.
No, it'll be a lot of fun because, frankly, from everything that you just stated and what Military Gaming League is all about, our missions are quite in line for sure. Because we're not just a gaming league; we're absolutely family. We are all about veterans in gaming, and pushing those positive messages and helping those folks out that are struggling with PTSD symptoms or TBI, depression, anxiety, you name it. We're definitely one of those nexus to try and help folks out. So we appreciate absolutely what you're doing at Nine Line, and we're really looking forward to seeing what these three have to offer.
Yeah, we are too. We're really excited to dive into this with them. I think I get about 5 messages a day from Scott talking about it, and we go back and forth talking about it. So it's going to be exciting. It's a new avenue for Nine Line, right? Nine Line, pretty much not founded on Facebook, but a lot of our growth came from our Facebook page, and anyone knows and is on Facebook nowadays, it's kind of an older audience. It's not where the young kids are or anything like that. And, something we're trying to target is bring some patriotism back into the younger audience, right?
Yep.
I could go on and on about that because we're, neck deep in the news cycle every day with what's going on. That's for another chat we could have later down the road.
Absolutely.
But like I said, we're super excited about this. It's going to be fun. Excited for all 3 of them to compete, and hopefully we can grow the brand and get in some tournaments and keep doing things like this.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to do a round robin real quick of dropping your socials. Should you have socials you want to drop? Twitter, email, Twitch, Facebook, you name it. If you want to just plug Nine Line, you're more than welcome to. So Scott, I'll leave it over to you to kick that off.
You can just follow us on Breach Brothers on Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a YouTube. We're working, on some stuff there. We're gonna say that's NDA classified. Only thing I have to say, man, is Nine Line is fantastic. The clothing's great. Everybody that works there is absolutely amazing. I think I've met every single employee there just about on the many walkthroughs that I've done, and I've never seen a better company. The CEO, Tyler, is probably one of the most genuine people on the planet. Like, he really, really loves military guys. He loves what he does. He loves everybody that works for him, civilians and military. And they're huge on PTSD. And I think the last thing is, if, man, you're listening to this and you don't have an outlet and you're afraid to ask for help at the VA or something like I was, try gaming. I'm telling you, it helps, man. It just try it, because I know there's a lot of us out there that have that trouble asking for that hand. And sometimes we don't get that help quick enough. And gaming's a good outlet, man. It helps me every day. It keeps me level. Without it, I would not be the person I am right now. I'd be a totally different person that could not function at this point in my life.
Fantastic words. Absolutely. Never, ever hesitate to reach out, ask for help. If you're scared to go to the VA, find a buddy, find a gamer, find somebody and get some help. Absolutely. So circling back on social, so YouTube, we've got Nine Line Apparel. Facebook, we also Nine Line Apparel. And you can find all 3 of these young, fine gentlemen gaming it up, spreading awareness, doing the good deeds, and murking some folks virtually, of course. So,
story about that.
Yeah. we'll talk more about that later. So, folks, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Whiskey Delta. It has been my absolute pleasure to talk with the Breach Brothers 1, 2, and 3. We have Damage X, aka Joe, or excuse me. Oh my God, I screwed that up. Damage X, aka Scott, Deceived, aka Joe, and Collector, aka Jordan. On the phone with us today, Admiral Chewy, aka Sheldon. It's been fabulous, guys. Thank you so much for coming on to Whiskey Delta. We appreciate you. Well done on all your efforts. We look forward to seeing what you come up with. I'm Mike Karnowski, aka Devil. We got into some details. Thanks for stopping by.